Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, September 26, 2025. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen D. Martino, CDM number 9. Well, we made it through another crazy week, and first we start off with the CDC John Hopkins latest analysis on the viruses around the region. Again, as we move through the fall, I figured it would be a great combination, nice little addition on the Friday mornings to get an idea, see what's going on. If you have any one of those kids who happens to be getting a little sick, well, what's floating around out there? And for the most part, the primary virus of concern is COVID, which saw a little bit of a decrease over the past week. And also, you can see flu and the other hantavirus is on the low side here. So certainly some good news in that respect, keeping everything on the low end here. Hopefully that remains the case as we go on through the fall. But we know as we go through the fall season, those viruses will be picking up. Now, off to the tropics. A lot of activity going on here. We have Hurricane Humberto, and we have a pesky disturbance here right around Cuba, the Bahamas, and the island Hispaniola. So we're watching this feature, and we have this feature. And there's been a lot of talk online about how these features are going to interact. I did a very detailed discussion yesterday afternoon into the evening hours on exactly what I'm expecting here. I'm going to do the video explanation right now for you. But if you want to get the latest details, definitely check out the Premium Consulting membership, only $15 a month. You get this every day, not just on Friday. So we have Humberto here. Notice that it is starting to intensify nicely. Nice outflow here. The trough, the Western Atlantic Ridge is building to the north, getting a nice enhancement of the outflow on the north side, which is allowing Humberto to steadily intensify. It is currently just a Category 1 hurricane, but is expected to continue to intensify to a major hurricane this weekend. The good news, no landmass anywhere near it. So that's great, right? No direct impacts on any landmass whatsoever. But this feature, well, it's going to have the potential of creating some havoc here. You see, this feature is going to be interacting with Humberto and an upper level low over the southeast. And that's where things get a little tricky. So let's take a look at the 500 millibar pattern here, okay? And what we have here, we have the Western Atlantic Ridge, we have our disturbance, we have Humberto right here, and we have this trough. And you also have the polar jet stream well to the north. So this is part of the subtropical jet stream, this is part of the polar jet stream. As we move on through this weekend, the atmospheric environment around the Bahamas will allow for intensification of this feature. It likely becomes a tropical depression by this weekend, probably Saturday, and it'll have the potential to intensify while it's lifting north. Now, why is it lifting north? Well, as Humberto is intensifying, it's going to help to build the ridge here, right? Because of the outflow. This is part of the process of balancing out the different masses in the atmosphere. So you have your ridge building, and that's going to set up a nice southerly flow, which will also be interacting with this upper level low. Now, why isn't this upper level low just heading on out or exiting? Well, the polar jet stream to the north is featuring what we call an omega block. So you're starting to get heights building here, a trough is starting to dig here, and you also have another trough on the west coast. So this ridge complex blocks this upper level low from exiting. So you set up this southerly wind pattern that's going to take whatever's developing here and lift it northward. So by the time we get to Sunday night into Monday morning, you have a tropical disturbance here with probably a little bit of shear battling the development of it, but moving over the Gulf Stream with a lot of warm water. So it's going to have the potential to intensify, possibly a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane. As that's happening, it's going to interact with this upper level low. This upper level low can't exit because of this ridge. This ridge is building because of this trough. Meanwhile, this ridge is building, which sets up Humberto here, interacting with this tropical disturbance. Let's call it a tropical storm by that point. That's, I believe, would be Ira by that point. So it will be interacting with this and producing what we call the Fujiwara effect. So what happens is that this isn't able to exit out very quickly. This is kind of meandering over some very warm water, but the steering current is all towards the Carolina coast, while it's interacting with this upper level low. The upper level low prevents this storm from intensifying significantly because of the shear and some dry air, but still it is a factor driving plenty of rainfall. Meanwhile, for us, this ridge is building over us, setting up subsidence and keeping us dry. I should note, on Sunday, you see this little feature right here, tomorrow night into Sunday morning. You see how this kind of builds towards the coast? That's going to force a warm front towards us, and that's going to lead to the potential for some showers on Saturday night, tomorrow night, into Sunday morning, maybe a half an inch, a little bit more along the immediate Jersey Shore. But by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, that substance is taking hold. So the Giants game, by the way, which was looking a little bit wet, much drier now. So while this whole process is playing out, basically what you have is a bouncing out of all these different features, all working at the same time. And it can get awfully confusing because you start focusing too much on the tropical feature rather than everything else surrounding it that we do have a good handle on. So yeah, we're not sure whether this disturbance develops down here or up here. We're not sure whether it is able to rapidly intensify or not, but probably not because of the dry air. But let's just put on the idea that it becomes a hurricane, right? As these features are interacting. For us in the northern mid-Atlantic, we remain protected via this ridge couplet here. Meanwhile, the Carolina coast, well, they're going to get awful lot of rain. I'm not sure whether it makes a direct landfall into the Carolina coast or if it kind of meanders off the coast, but any way you slice it, it's going to be awfully wet for really this weekend on through early next week. So if you have friends and family around there, it's going to get pretty wet and potential for some flooding here. Meanwhile, Humberto, well, they can't get any further to the west. It gets kicked out, and it gets picked up by the same trough that is enhancing this ridge. So that gets kicked out. Now, the Fujiwara effect, what it'll do is it acts like an anchor and eventually pulls this right out into the Atlantic. And what you have left is the remnants of an upper level low spinning about. So again, we'll watch that and keep an eye on that. But as we go through the week, it's pretty quiet for us. But it's a very complicated weather pattern, very interesting weather pattern. But if you focus on what we do know, which is the evolution of the 500 millibar pattern, you get a pretty good idea of what is going to be the impacts for the mid-Atlantic coast. So let's just jump to the 500 millibar pattern here. And again, here's our whole evolution. There is our potential for showers are set up for Saturday night into Sunday morning. That lifting here, the upper level lows down here, the push of the moisture, basically the stationary front that is meandering around the region today, shifts back towards the coast on tomorrow night into Sunday morning, producing those showers. It looked like a pretty good rainfall event, but now let's just say Ocean County, New Jersey, down through Cape May County, New Jersey, has the best potential to push over a half an inch with some of these showers. But just to the northwest of there, barely any rainfall. It drops off very fast because the lifting and the moisture transport falls off very fast. So that takes hold. And then after that, for us, an upper level ridge and substance is in place all the way through next week. So that means high pressure and really a nice polar air mass building into the region. You can even see that influence with the dry air. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we are. The precipitable water value. You can see this set up here. So there's our push for tomorrow night into Sunday. Notice the deep tropical moisture primarily stays off the coast, kind of clips the Delmarva Peninsula and around Cape May. But then here comes the dry air just dominating and forcing everything off to our south and just keeping very nice weather conditions for us. And you could also see that pretty nicely here with the 850 millibar temperatures as well. Tries to push northward and then it gets shut right down. So what does that mean for our weather pattern? Well, let's walk through it. Okay, so for today, mix of sun and clouds, an isolated shower here and there. Temperatures will range from the mid to upper 70s over the interior and along the coast, upper 70s to lower 80s on the I-95 corridor. For tonight into tomorrow, look for a scattered cloud cover with low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s in your suburbs, lower to mid 60s in your urban areas. And then tomorrow afternoon, clouds increase. Showers begin to develop, especially towards the evening hours. Look for Look for high temperatures to range from the lower to mid 70s throughout the region. Then tomorrow evening into Sunday morning, we have that area of rainfall moving through. Again, the primary focus will be roughly from Ocean County on southward through Cape May County. Monmouth, you'll be on the very edge. Philadelphia Metro on the very edge. New York City Metro on the very edge. Talking about a tenth of an inch of rain. Then you're talking about half an inch to an inch of rain right in this area here. Again, very much localized on the Jersey Shore. Even Long Island, you'd barely get clipped, maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch, if that, while you're sleeping or not. Saturday night into Sunday morning. Look for lows on Sunday morning to range from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior and lower to mid 60s along the coast. By Sunday afternoon, skies begin to clear from northwest to southeast. So clear skies over the northern interior, variable cloud cover down towards, let's say, Cape May. Temperatures will range from the mid to upper 70s throughout the region with an easterly wind. Again, not too bad. Sunday was looking a little bit more unsettled, but now it's looking a lot better. So if you have any plans for any outdoor activities, in the morning, I'd have to dodge a few showers. In the afternoon and evening, absolutely wonderful. Then Monday, high pressure takes control with scattered cloud cover. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s over the interior and along the coast, upper 70s to lower 80s on the I-95 corridor. Tuesday, high pressure builds in even more from the Great Lakes. Look for a scattered cloud cover to clear skies. Low temperatures will range from the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid 70s. On Wednesday, high pressure and complete control with clear skies to a few scattered clouds. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s in your suburbs, lower 60s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 60s over the interior and along the coast, upper 60s to lower 70s on the I-95 corridor. Thursday and Friday will feature high pressure in complete control with light winds, clear skies. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s in your suburbs, lower to mid 50s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 60s over the interior and along the coast, upper 60s to lower 70s on the I-95 corridor. A very nice week is on the way for next week, but this weekend a little bit unsettled, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning. That is your premium public video forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.